Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Caston Love from the Serious Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Tuesday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Watecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my personal mission is to stand in my heart and help other people stand in theirs. This webisode is for Tuesday, March 1st, 2016, and today the Great Human Walk has reached step 11, Pisces. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for logging in. Let me just say right off the bat that I am absolutely campaigning for Bernie today. Okay, and I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry that a lot of people don't want me to mix politics with spirituality, but the truth is I think politics and spirituality do go together, and that we should be running our country like we believe with our soul. So I have to say, people turn to me for advice. I've analyzed the candidates, and this is what I support. So I'm sorry if it offends you. But I think we're at an interesting time, and I actually think that the universe is going to do what the universe is going to do, right? But today, step 11, integrity rules the day, and today is a big election day from what I understand. So even God is pulling for integrity today, and I hope you are too. If you're in a state where you have the opportunity to make a difference, please go vote, because if nothing else, show them democracy still works and the presidency cannot be bought. If nothing else, please let them know that presidency cannot be bought. All right, enough with that. And I want to do a Lightwalker shout out. I am so proud to start bringing lots of light and sharing lots of light with you. If you're a Lightwalker, you want me to share your work, email me at help@soulgarden.tv. I now have a couple of people who are going through these emails and helping us reach out. I believe we need to unite the light, and this is my effort. Today it goes to Lightwalker, author, and healer James John. I met James actually at the Conscious Life Expo, and he was literally brought to me for personal reasons, I think, and for spiritual reasons. He himself has battled with his shadows, depression, and entities on his soul. He describes having dark entities, and he describes the process of facing those entities and removing them from his life forever. He wrote a children's book, basically, that an adult can read, that talks about how to stay in your heart and live in your heart, and he has his own live, love, be kind of perspective too, which he calls LAF, L-A-F. And I cannot remember what it stands for right now, so forgive me for that, James John. But y'all take a look at the interview that I'm uploading today, and please support his work. But also, if you struggle with staying in serious joy in your heart, this guy has tried to simplify it and try to simplify the process of removing and stepping away from that darkness. So thank you, Mr. John, for giving us in the world soul service. I'm so grateful. So today, for your vibe, today's vibe is sunny and serious. I mean that in a serious way, S-I-R-U-S. That's because right now we have some serious energy on the planet, and because the moon is crossing over Saturn today, which feels kind of serious, all right? That said, my heart today is seeking to feel whole. That's because step 11 rules the day, so I want to feel whole. And I can sense other people today out of integrity. Now, that's one of the little things you need to know on an integrity day. Don't get obsessed with people out of integrity, because that's you avoiding you staying in integrity. So it's painfully obvious when people are out of integrity today. Focus on your integrity if you can. I feel serious today, but cautiously optimistic. The moon is in Sagittarius and crosses over Saturn today. I am learning today. I'm emotionally growing up today. Today we might have to kind of take one for the team or realize something kind of true and move on. I'm open to frequencies that are easygoing and for my highest spiritual good. I'm open to frequencies that are easygoing and for my highest spiritual good. That's because Venus is at step 16, and it's the foot now of a new yod. We'll talk about that today in the Zenen. And I'm thinking about the best frequency that's the most fair. That's because Mercury's at step 24. So I want the fairest frequency, the perfect frequency, the one where I belong. So I'm ready to open up to integrity. I'm ready to go to where I belong. I am still manifesting my final boundaries on Earth and the rules of what I will emotionally tolerate and not emotionally tolerate, because Mars, is at step 28. And I am learning what I manifest in reality still. Still learning what I want to manifest, still learning what I want to do. Jupiter retrograde step 19. So, your joy quest, should you choose to accept it, my friends, is to respond differently to your emotions all day long. Respond differently to your emotions all day long. Be compassionate and gentle to yourself, but respond differently. Respond differently means if you normally throw a trump with yourself, don't. This time, do something else. If you normally buy yourself a sundae, don't. Do something else. Emotionally respond differently today all day long. It's a good spiritual exercise, and it will get you into spiritual shape for the solar eclipse that's coming up soon. All right. Well, I love you so much. It's time now to talk about today's topic, and I'll just say I'm going to get political today. I don't always do this, but if you're offended by it, just don't watch and go to the Zenen, okay? For everyone else, I think it's time we talk a little politics right now in today's topic. Today's topic is Astropolitics, some conscious observations. And this really just comes from, I think it's time to speak up and talk a little bit about what I see going on. And I just want to affirm, and as a spiritual leader and a spiritual life coach on Earth, I want to affirm and maybe some things that you're thinking about. I'll tell you what kind of alarmed me, though. I just want to say for the record, there's a lot of voting going on today. I want to say that I have observed that the mass greedia has done nothing but pump up Trump and position Hillary. I've seen mass media completely ignore Bernie and not do stories on him. I've also seen the mass media obsessing on Mark Rubio and these other people too a little bit, and completely ignoring Bernie. So there's everyone is clearly the establishment, if this is what you're talking about, is afraid of Bernie Sanders. I'm just saying. Now, I'm very uneasy with Donald Trump for lots of reasons. The biggest reason is he seems to be uniting hate. He's okay with the Ku Klux Klan supporting him. He's basically, Sarah Palin, I've seen him in his speeches. He literally goes down every little hate group and says, I'm with you. So this is dangerous. This is Hitler-like. This is the kind of hate that we united in World War II, and even the hate that we had against them for being hateful in the first place. I'm seeing a lot of hate take politics. Now, I don't see hate happening in the Bernie camps or even, of course, the Hillary camps. I don't. But I see a lot of hate there. Now, here's what concerns me. I think in an election between, first of all, let's talk Hillary and let's talk Bernie for a second. Honest to God, I feel like, and I've always said this, and I've said this for the last 5-6 years, Hillary Clinton has made deals with the devil. I can feel energetically she has promises to dark energies. It's Illuminati as far as I'm concerned. It goes back to that. She's part of that problem. If you're concerned about ending up in concentration camps or having big banks rule us or any of these things that we see as dark, Hillary's endorsed by these organizations. End of story. So I think, who you sleep with says a lot about who you are, and we need to wake up in that sense. And I really just feel, I've always felt, and I've said it, you can ask anybody before these elections, I was like, I like Hillary, but she's just too dark. She's a step 3 Sagittarius. That's Scorpio. Step 3 is naive at boundaries, and naive at where boundaries should be. That's why she has trustworthy issues, because she's completely naive at drawing boundaries. Ask any Scorpio mama, okay? Do I respect her? To some degree, okay? Is Bernie the solution? Well, here's my thought. I think that the country is going to fall, and we're going to end up with an FDR regardless. We're going to end up with a Franklin Roosevelt. We're going to end up with a grandpa. We're going to end up with somebody who's going to help us because we're going to hit bottom. We're either going to do it before or do it after. I look at it going, well, let's see what the universe decides. Here's what's really scary that I want to put out there. I don't think Donald Trump, it goes back to the Illuminati. I don't think Donald Trump is tied up to anybody. I think Donald Trump is a complete loose cannon, as if a cowboy got in the White House. Okay. Now this has happened before. If you know your American history, Ulysses, is it Grant? I'm thinking of Grant. I can't remember now. All of a sudden, I'm drawing a blank now that I want to call it up. It'll come back. But we've had cowboys in the White House before, and actually they've shaken things up, including ending the world, the country's banking system, but it got reversed. Now I'm really wanting to know this president. But if it becomes down to Trump versus Hillary, okay, I think a lot of people see Hillary as dark, and I think we might end up with a cowboy in the White House because of her being dark. So I don't know how it's going to turn out, okay? But I do know that we need to pump everything up with love and support love and be very vocal. People ask, what can you do? Here's what you can do. Be vocal. When you nag, when you post on Facebook, when you post on Twitter, okay, you are creating waves that matter. People are counting them. News agencies are counting on them. And at the end of the day, if they have it to report, it's hard, the evidence is hard to ignore. So I kind of applaud our social media in the sense that it's an official, way of counting votes. But the last thing I want to put out there that really frightens me that should be put up and brought up is Michael Hayden, former CIA head, was on Bill Maher recently, and he was talking about that if there was a President Trump, that the military would have to refuse to follow orders from President Trump based on what Trump has said. Now, to me, the idea that the military would refuse orders from the president is extremely dangerous. The idea that they would tell us that on television is extremely dangerous. If you study Rome at around 300 years when they were going through their political return, the military has a bad history in the world of taking over. Okay? It's the military that is putting poison in the air. It's the military that's executing this. It's the military that's investing. It's the military that we keep pumping all kinds of black ops dollars into. Our military is getting bigger. And here is someone who's part of the military that's saying if we had a president like him, we would disagree with him and not follow orders. That is extremely, my friends, dangerous. I just want to say it as a light walker. It is time to walk in the light. It is time to put love out there. It is time to be vocal of your opinions. It is time to be the squeaky wheel and be a pain in the dark's ass. All right, my friends? No matter what you do, exercise your vote, exercise everything. We have seen history before where there have been Hitlers that take over populations, and we can see with media, we can see these chess games. It's possible, so we really need to stand up and be awake. We need to stand in integrity, and we need to stand for who we are and what we believe. And it's going to be nervous as to whether or not we get accepted. Here's your 5 o'clock question. Have you ever written anything on Facebook or Twitter that might be misconstrued as dangerous to the state? Have you ever written anything on Facebook or Twitter that could be misconstrued as dangerous to the state? I ask because we could find ourselves in a nation where your searchable posts and Twitters will all reveal what you believe. And right now, that is a good thing, and we can put our word out there. But later, if we don't speak up, anything we've ever said could be used against us, and we could start to find ourselves in a slippery path, especially if a military is ruling and not the democracy. People must speak up. I just have to say it. And forgive me if I've been too passionate or if I've offended you. But we must speak up, we must act, and we must move forward now. And even if you don't want to do that, well, watch the Zenen coming up next. And welcome to the Zenen. Oops, actually. And welcome to the Zenen. Let's take 3 breaths and join our hearts. And as we join our hearts, I'm putting a firewall of love between you and me. And today, in this firewall of love, I'm sending integrity. May integrity stand tall and wide and heal anything in your life that doesn't feel whole or of integrity. And let's take 3 breaths. Okay, and I have an affirmation to help you with your day. I love myself today, and I love myself some more. And so it is. I love myself today, and I love myself some more. And so it is. That's what integrity is. You add extra love to fill in any gaps. You got to fear, you got to worry, you got to pain. Love yourself some more, and feel that love. So let's take a look at the planets and see what's going on today. Ding. Now, step 11 is all about integrity, and that's where I get this integrity stuff if you want to know. Step 11 is I become. Step 11 is Virgo. So people say Virgos are perfectionists. No, they're obsessed with integrity, and it's always changing. So they're always trying to stand in better and better and better integrity. They're always becoming something. And Virgos who are pessimistic are always on one side of what they're becoming, and Virgos who are optimistic are always on the other side of what they're becoming. But they're always becoming something, and they're never stopping it ever. So today we become, and what we become is what we sense or what our spirit tells us, because we are in the state of Pisces. We're in step 11 Pisces, or 11 degrees Pisces. And as you can see, our infamous Yod has returned again, this time 1 foot being Venus, the other time being Uranus. Okay, Uranus is at step 18 Aries, which is the Grandmaster 9, and Venus today is at step 16 Aquarius, which is a 7, which is Pisces. So Venus is technically talking to Pisces. And these energies are coming down to manifest. God Universe has got the North Node at step 21, so God says, focus on step 21 where it starts to get fun. But what we are doing is manifesting. We are loving and acting on what we love, which adds to a 10, I manifest, and that's what this real vortex is. Now, the solar eclipse that we get March 8th directly opposes this Jupiter. So you're aligning kind of now where the lightning will strike, and how it will strike and how it will expand and multiply. Don't worry, you have until the very last minute before the eclipse to not do it, you know what I mean, or to change it, or to change plans, or whatever. So don't worry, you have me here. And again, don't worry, step 21, see, Black Lilith is saying to us, uh-oh, my fears are at step 21. I'm afraid what happens when I let my heart go. I'm afraid what happens when I run down the path and la-di-da-di-da, okay? So there's some fear we're working out with this too. Now, the moon today makes things serious because the moon crosses over Saturn. Sirius, Sally, or Saturn. And Saturn's at step 15, which means beliefs should be what you love and what you're mindful of. Okay? And that will add to a 6, which is you're able to receive from these beliefs. Now, the problem is you must be mindful of the love for this to work, because if you're mindful of fear and mindful of anything else, you screw up your authority here. You have to be mindful of the love. We always read backwards when it comes to how things rule in my step astrology numerology. Now, the moon crosses Saturn today, and that means that you will feel that you must be mindful of the love, mindful of the self-love. You must believe. You will feel the responsibility that you have to believe. And if you want to go, well, what's responsibility of believing? Responsibility of believing is you say you believe it. Well, now prove it, do it, act on it. Don't be worried about it. You said you believed it. Don't second guess it. Responsible of being believing is that you stand up and you make it so because you said so. And if you want to know where I get the idea because you said so, that's Jupiter in the high degrees of Sag. Because Jupiter said so, that's why. The biggest player in the world. So what came to me in spirit, can you guess? Which planet? I haven't circled it yet. It was Mars. Wah, wah. Spirit said, bring up Mars. Mars at step 28. Step 28 means that we are manifesting 2 plus 8. We're manifesting Scorpio. We're manifesting our final boundaries. And this 8 is what you have decided already. You don't make a decision at the last minute. I mean, you can at the last minute, but this is what you've decided. So you feel what you decide. You you be decisive about your feelings, and you hold your feelings for the way it will be, and you let reality kind of cook around it. But what I think Spirit wanted me to bring up with Mars had to do with the idea of ego. Okay, Mars is ego. Mars is action. And a lot of us get confused about using action, especially in spirituality, like when are we supposed to be egotistical? I think it goes back to yesterday of step 27. As you are manifesting forward, okay, the perfect ego position is, do you feel it? Do you sense it? Then act. If you don't feel it, you don't sense it, then don't act. That, to me, is the prudence, and that's what Spirit wanted you to know. Okay, that's all we're going to do for the overhead projector today. Just a little shout-out for those who are watched over in my personal Sensei service. Your eye candy today at 3 p.m. is your soul's definition of integrity. This is based on the step and position of your Chiron in your natal chart and my own little cooking. So I'll be telling you at 3 what integrity means to you, just so you have a little checklist that you can check up against. And don't forget, anyone can sign up for my personal Sensei service at seriousjoy.me. And I will put out there, I have a new readings page up on my website. So if you're interested in purchasing a reading and getting in front of me and doing some soul counseling, this is a great time during Pisces. Find out more at soulgarden.tv. And lastly, I will say, go Bernie. If any people are out there and they have the power to change and vote out there, I've talked about it. I'm sorry if I've offended you, but I think we're in very dangerous times. It's time to stand up and vote with your conscience, my friends. All right. I love you, and live, love, be.